Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this channel, I'll be talking about tips and tricks about startups. Today in this video, I'll be talking about how to start your startup and the steps going forward. So let's start the video. So today's video, I'm actually answering a question. I got a question from Sammy saying, "Hi there, I've been following your rooms on Clubhouse. I do Clubhouse rooms in Japanese though, but about startups. And it says, nice to know your YouTube as well. Could you please make some content for those like myself who are eager to start a business but don't know where to start? Starting up a startup still is foreign here." So great. Thank you very much, Sammy, for your comment. And if anybody else has any comments, please write it down in the comment section below and I'll answer them, or I can make a video out of that. So going to addressing Sammy's question, I'm going to talk about like 3 steps of going forward of starting your business. So number 1 is finding your business idea. Number 2, how to brush up your idea into a actual business. And 3, how to execute, which is probably the most important part. So going from number 1, how you come up with a business idea. So how to find business ideas. I'm going to talk about like 3 areas within that. So 1 is about your passion. If you have a strong passion toward, I don't know, a hobby or something that you want to really solve, such as like world hunger, let's say, figure out what you can do and figure out if you can turn that into a business. Because you might end up doing this for quite a long time. So you want to do something that you're passionate about and that you're not just doing it for the money. So find something along the lines that you're really excited, that gets you motivated and gets you out of bed, gets you pushing toward. The second point is finding business needs. So if you have business experience, you would be in a company and you'll feel and find out things that don't work, such as like you are in marketing but you just wish you had these tools, let's say, or you're a salesperson and you're using a CRM but there's some things that are not working properly. You can fix that. So you fix your kind of own pain is one of the things you can do. So that's very unique and it's pretty easy as a beginner, especially if you're in B2B. I think it's even better. This is my personal opinion, but doing something in B2C is much difficult compared to B2B. B2C has more potential of growing and expanding to a lot of people, the mass. But B2B, if you have a good product, you can actually go out and sell directly. So for a beginner, so to say, doing your own business, I think it's a better bet to go to B2B. So kind of solving your pain is one place you can explore. Another way of thinking of good business ideas is to find areas where technology has not yet penetrated. Some like traditional, old school kind of business areas. So for like marketing and like sales, a lot of that has been like there's tools and IT, like systems related for that activity. But let's say, I don't know, like for waste control or like some areas, sorry about picking on waste control, but like some areas that you feel or you obviously know, which is obvious, that they haven't implemented technology for like decades. Those areas would be a great chance to disrupt, to bring in new technology, new IT, to make those processes or operations more efficient. Lastly, if you come from a different country, I think this is very useful, but find things that exist in your country but don't exist in other countries or regions. For example, Japan has these wonderful toilets, these toilet seats that warm up. There are a lot of fans actually who come to Japan are just amazed about that. Those don't exist in, let's say, the US or in Canada. So I don't know, doing some import business. Might be interesting. So this type of food doesn't exist in this area, this type of technology, this type of product, if it doesn't exist in other countries, there might be a chance for that to open new opportunities. Third point is working on your strength. Let's say you're a great data analyst. You work in a IT company and you crunch data and you're really good at that. I'm sure that you can use that and kind of put those into, let's say, software, so a lot of people can leverage your knowledge in how to crunch large data, let's say. Let's say you're really good at sales. Figure out what's special about your skills or experience, kind of break it down. Maybe you can create a training program so that you can train people to be like you. So those are the three things that I can think of thinking of a business idea. Outside of the three ways of coming up with business ideas, there's other ways of brainstorming. Let's say you have a business model, say Uber, and you try applying it to other areas, such as Uber for pets or Uber for house cleaning. Kind of like opening up, mixing things that already exist and coming up with a new idea. The trick here is to come up with as much ideas as possible and kind of going through in reality, checking if, does this already exist? Okay, it already exists and it's pretty competitive. Check that out. Is the market big enough? No, it isn't. Check that out. Kind of eliminating the things and thinking, will I be really doing this for like 10 years? Nah, probably not. Check that out. Like eliminating the things that you won't be doing or doesn't seem to work right out of the bat, and kind of narrowing down the things that seem to be a good opportunity, business opportunity. And it's possible you want to kind of mix that. Your passion, there's a need, and then you have strength in that. If those overlap, there's a better bet that this will work. Of course, understanding that there is a market there. So that's about how to come up with business ideas. Now the second step is to get that idea into an actual business. To do that, you can kind of follow the lean startup method, but generally you want to bounce your ideas off. Some people are hesitant to talk about their idea because maybe somebody will copy that. They're afraid of that. But business is all about implementation, which we'll talk on the third point. So don't be too scared about your idea being copied. If you find a business idea that you think is very unique and you want to keep it a secret, maybe you can talk to only your friends who you really trust. So the trap of coming up with a business idea is that you kind of get obsessed with it. This is so great. This is going to really work. I'm going to be the next billionaire. You want somebody to kind of check it from an outsider point of view, saying, have you thought of this? Or isn't this a risk? A lot of things that you haven't thought about will be brought to the table. So talking to a number of people, the list of your passionate ideas might narrow down to a more shorter list. The other benefit of talking to a lot of people about your business idea is that you can add on. They might be able to add on to your idea, saying, hey, why don't you do this while you're doing that? Or why don't you add this twist to your idea? And that might make complete sense. So you're brushing up your business idea, making sure that it actually works, and also maybe adding more to that. And additionally, you might find potential customers through discussions with friends and people around you. So how do you talk to people? You just can't, it's kind of hard to just talk to somebody on the street or something. What I did was I was working in co-working spaces. So the co-working spaces would have these times when you can do lightning pitches, lightning talks. So like whatever you're doing, you talk in front of the whole crowd, and after that you go grab some drinks and such, so that everybody knows what you're doing. So I would go out and talk about my idea, and after that people say, hey, that was interesting, or hey, I like your idea, but maybe you can do this instead. So you get people involved, and you can start a conversation around that. So that really helps. So my kind of advice is go to a co-working space or some kind of community that you can just talk to people. The more variety of the people in there, like if you just go to a community that's just all engineers, you might miss the understanding of what the market is. So have a mixed group of people that will give you a good set of eyes in your initial part of working on your business idea. So that's about brushing up your business idea into sort of a business. Now the third part is the execution. And when I talk about execution, you start to need actually to do things. So you've talked about your idea, you thought about your idea, you've talked about the idea, you kind of think this is going to happen. Now you need to actually start doing things. So you start trying to find customers. You'll do like customer interviews saying, okay, I'm going to do a B2B software where we'll help manufacturing companies, let's say. So you need to talk to manufacturing companies and their division that takes care of software. Like, do they have such a need? Is there some alternative existing? Try to understand the dynamics around trying to understand the dynamics around their work. And while doing that execution, it's kind of hard to do it all by yourself, because you have your experience and you have your skills and you have your strength, but there are areas that you are not that strong on, that you're not so comfortable. You want to find somebody who can kind of help you out in those areas, such as, let's say you have a good idea about a software, but you're not necessarily a developer. So you want somebody who has IT skills on your team. So a lot of execution will be doing things, doing research, talking to people, but also bringing people into your team. If you really want to grow your business, you just can't do it by yourself. You have just so limited resources. You want to expand your resources, so you want to bring talented people into your team. Also, the importance of bringing people into your team is it will kind of push you forward. You want to be accountable for what you do. And if you're working by yourself, you can kind of be lazy and make excuses about that. But if you have somebody you're working with, you want to live up to her expectations. So it kind of puts social pressure on you. The other thing you would want to do, trying to find your team members, is also to kind of pace make. So I was terrible at getting up early in the morning. Like, I would just be lazy. I wouldn't get up. So finding somebody to talk to, like set up appointments, was a good way to set up my pace. So if you're weak in an area, try to find somebody who can complement that, or try to create a system. Like for myself, like I was lazy getting up, so I would set up like meetings in the morning. Try to set up a system, a thing that will kind of automatically set you up to working on your startup, on your business. So those were the 3 points: coming with the idea, brushing it up, and starting to execute on that. Adding to that, you might want to consider registering your company. This is not necessary, not to waste too much money on something that you're not really sure of. You might want to hold on to it as long as possible. The benefit of registering your company early is that you're pushing yourself, you're pressuring yourself to make this happen. So for myself, I registered my company right away, although I really didn't know yet what I was going to do. This got me kind of thinking, okay, now I've registered the company. I need to work on this. I need to do something. I just can't be lazy anymore. So if you're that sort of person that needs that extra push, maybe it would be a good idea to register a company. So figure out things that you can use to have your system work. So Sami, I hope this kind of answered your questions. If you have more questions or additional questions, or you want me to elaborate a bit more on certain areas, please let me know. And for those who are watching this video, please like this video. Also, if you can subscribe to my channel, that would be awesome. And if you have any requests or comments, of future videos and such, please write in the comment section. I read them all and I'll reply to you if you have any questions. So good luck, Sami, and see you next time.